Welcome back to Tuesday night Zwift Racing League, America's West Division B2, racing with Dirty Rascals Grit. Race number 2 of this second round of ZRL. We're looking to tackle Turf and Surf. It's on a 25k map, and it's a points race format. So points race means segments get allotted first across the line and first fastest through the segment points. This race has 2 segments. The first one is the alley sprint, which is almost immediately out the gate, about a minute and a half into the race. And the second one comes after a bit of a climb once we get into the surf part of this map. As you can see, we start in Yokio, make our way through the dizzying arcade, the streets, and out to the coast. Then we hit the little draggy climb with the sprint, recover for a little bit, and then it's that cave climb just before we hit the finish line. Should make for an interesting race. There you go. My plan coming out the gate was to surf some wheels and just focus on position. I knew it was going to be really hot. Based on the races that happened earlier in the day, it was going to be a pretty tough 2-minute effort. So I focused on just positioning, making sure I was in the right place when the time came to lay down the hammer. Take a look. So the plan worked out pretty well. Surfed to wheels and found myself in decent position with a couple of meters to go, and decided to give it a little extra push and finished second across the line, and managed to grab a second fastest through the segment. Next little bit of the race was pretty boring, mostly recovery. One guy went for a little bit of a jaunt up front. Had some folks questioning his status as a B. I'll leave you be the judge of that. The group managed to pull him back just before the action started again. Next selection point was the draggy climb just before the second sprint. So after reeling back Madruga, the group was getting ready for the next climb. And just beforehand, I noticed somebody went out front, and I assumed it was him again. Turns out it was my teammate Noodle, who had gone and attacked at the base of the climb, and I had no idea he was out front. And my plan during this climb was just to, again, surf wheels, pace it, make sure I wasn't doing too much so that I had some room left in my legs for the sprint that came afterwards. Coming up towards the end of the climb, I was doing all right, sort of 20th position. I knew that I could gain a few more on the lead into the sprint, and I wasn't feeling too bad despite my heart rate being relatively high. I had no idea that Noodle was out front again, but I did the same as I did on the first sprint, and I just worked through the crowd, surfed the wheels, and conserved energy until it was time to go. Pretty happy with the outcome here. Finished 5th FAL. behind Noodle, who got first. Some more grit points with Ken finishing 10th, Nate finishing 16th, all valuable team points. And on FTS, Nate and I got 1, 2, and Ken got 5th for some more team points. So we really nailed it on the team scoring here. Not much action between the Shisa sprint and the beginning of the climb. There was one attack that we closed down relatively easily and went into this last climb with about 25 or so guys. So I wasn't feeling too bad coming out of the climb, but I knew that the feather as a power-up was going to work against me. I felt a little bit antsy and didn't have a supreme amount of confidence in my ability to close out the race with a sprint without a power-up. In hindsight, maybe I should have just trusted my ability, but my plan was to deploy early with my feather and try to lead out some of the grit guys to see if they'd be able to come over the top of some of the opponents who followed my wheel. I think I went with around 600 or 700 meters to go, which is a long sprint. There you have it. Plan kind of worked. Noodle and Nate came over the top, and they finished second and third, and I managed to snag sixth in a field of 43 or 44. There you have it. Final tally. Dirty Rascals Grit takes the race win. 378 total points. Closest was Z-Sun with 321. Great team result. Some good points across the board there. We moved up to third in the table, 2 points behind leaders UV and Z-Sun, who are tied on 29. Our TTT last week didn't do us any favors, but we've got a lot of strength in this team, so hopefully we can keep climbing the table. Hope you enjoyed the recap, and I'll see you next week.